Hi everybody, welcome to the population lecture for the ESM 102 online lab section. This week we're going to be looking at how many people there are on the planet and specifically why it's a problem that there are so many people on the planet. Last week you guys did the ecological footprint exercise, I hope. I'm sure all of you did. You're not slacking. Week 2, I hope. Anyway, you probably noticed that the vast majority of you used a lot more than one Earth, which is a problem, right? Because we only have that one. And the underlying factor is that it's all about resource depletion, right? There's only so much water on the planet, so that's why they were asking you questions about, like, your bathing habits and stuff like that. They ask you, how often you drive because that's a fossil fuel resource, right? And that's limited. They ask you about food, and the reason behind that is not just, how much can be grown on our planet, but also, what energy goes into making that food. We're going to watch a video this week, the population video, but then towards the end of this term, we're also going to watch a great video called The Future of Food that talks about, just the vast amount of energy that goes into making, say, a pound of beef versus a pound of grain. So these are limited resources, and I'm curious as to what habits and lifestyle choices you notice that change your footprint the most. We had one student in the face-to-face lab who grew up in Pakistan, so she had her, she did her calculations from Pakistan, and her footprint was 0.3 Earths. So if everyone were to live like her, you'd only need 0.3 of an Earth, which was pretty amazing. But then, it becomes kind of a quality of life question as well, right? So something to think about before we watch this video is not just how many people there are expected to be on this planet by the year 2050, it's the demographics of those people. I'm going to show you some pictures here in a second. Let's pull this up, of age structures. They're called age structures or population pyramids, and if you look closely here, you can see they've color-coded sub-Saharan Africa in darker blue, and then all of the world population in lighter blue. And on the x-axis here down on the bottom is a percentage of the total population. And granted, this is 2002, so a little outdated, but it's the Census Bureau, so they've got a lot of work to do. Anyway, so what you can notice about this, and they divide it by male and female, and then on the y-axis is the age bracket. So you'll notice if you're looking at the dark blue here, in sub-Saharan Africa in 2002, the vast majority of that particular geographic population is children aged 0 to 4. So that's pretty amazing. So there's like a lot more children than there are, say, 80-year-old people in sub-Saharan Africa. So then they kind of overlay that with the world population, and while there are certainly a number of children, there's also kind of a larger gradient of middle-aged people as well. And so this kind of tells you, as far as looking into the future, if you have too many children and not enough elderly people, where are all those children going to work when they get to be of working age? And conversely, if you have too many elderly people and not enough children, who's going to take care of the elderly people? So you have to consider demographics in addition to just sheer numbers. And I think in Dr. Reuter's lecture, he talks about some of the reasoning behind these different age structures, because it has a lot to do with wealth and education, and frankly, one of the biggest factors is women's education and women's own rights over their reproduction. Um, because, you know, if you have a choice in how many children you have, frankly, you're probably going to choose to have fewer children. So, all right, back to this. Here we go. Okay, so, oh, and that's just that repeated. Sorry. Here we go. So, another thing to think about is growth curves. And so, in the lecture notes, you also talked about an exponential growth curve. And that's finite, right? We can't just keep multiplying indefinitely. And the limit to that is considered our carrying capacity, which is defined as the maximum number of individuals that a given environment can support without detrimental effects. And so, you know, to support those individuals, we need water, obviously, we need food, clearly, and shelter. Um, how do you get all of those things to, what is it, 7.5 billion people without detrimental effects? And further, how do you even define detrimental effects? So these are all questions that I kind of want you to mull over while you're watching this video. So now you're going to get to the assignment. Go over assignment 2. It's in the week 2 folder on D2L. And that way, if you read it first before you watch the video, you won't have to go through the video twice. It's about 50 minutes long. It's called How Many People Can Live on Planet Earth. It's on YouTube, and there's the link. I will also post it in the news section, so you can just click it. It should be live that way. And so watch the video with, you know, assignment 2 kind of open in a second window. And complete your assignment and then submit it via the Dropbox on D2L by next Friday. And try not to get too bummed out about about the video. It's, you know, knowing is half the battle. That's what I say. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.